Hey there, my friend. This is Dr. Anthony Balduzzi from the Fit Father Project and the Fit Mother Project, and I want to welcome you back to another episode here on the podcast. Now, normally on this podcast, we talk a lot about physical health, stuff to do with your nutrition, your exercise, your supplementation. What I want to talk about today is something that I believe is just as important, and that's our mental and emotional health. And in particular, I want to zone in and talk about the idea of forgiveness. And our forgiveness is actually researched back to be one of the best things you can do for your overall health. And let's zoom out for a second. We all know we're not just physical beings. Sure, we have these bodies that require tending, food, movement, water. But the real nature of ourselves, we're mental, emotional beings at the same time. We have feelings, we have desires, we have this overall awareness and consciousness, and this body is the vehicle that we're proceeding through life with. Well, what we've really found out is there's just such a dynamic interplay between the mind and the emotions in the body. When the mind and the emotions are in a stressed, keyed up state, it changes the body. When we're stressed, the immune function goes down. Our immune system gets weaker. Our blood pressure goes up. The sympathetic nervous system, the fight or flight, gets jacked up, which puts more strain on our heart and our vessels. And when we stay in that state for a long period of time, it causes all sorts of health issues and can change the inflammation parameters in our bodies. Well, one of the best things we can do for our health is actually to lower that sympathetic fight or flight tone, is to practice the art of forgiveness, which is really letting go of the things we're still holding on to, which are judgments of ourselves or judgments of others. And I believe this is probably at the key in the heart of a lot of spiritual exploration. Whatever this word spiritual means for you, I think one key thing, no matter what path you choose to follow, is to have a heart that is open to forgiving. And what this means is you're actually becoming self-aware of the stuff you're still holding on to. A lot of times this is with other people and situations, these memories and impressions that are lodged in our awareness, and we get caught up in holding on to this stuff, and we're gripping so tight. And as we're mentally, emotionally gripping so tight on this stuff and having that negative emotion inside of us, that's really affecting our health parameters quite dramatically. And to live a long and healthy life, the people who live to 100 plus with good health, they are happy, relaxed people. They have good friends in social circles. They pray a lot. They spend time outside. They're not the people that are all keyed up. And you've seen these people where you walk around and they're angry all the time, right? Even their head looks red and they're all keyed up and the shoulders are tight and tense and their bodies are like this. A lot of us find ourselves in those situations after holding on to things, where it's really powerful that we can start to forgive and release this stuff. And certainly easier said than done. But if you make a commitment to forgiveness and you really start to use your awareness to look at what are these patterns that I'm holding on to? Are they still serving me? Do I want to carry these things into the next year? And maybe it's forgiving someone else. Maybe it's forgiving yourself. But I think it comes down to gentleness and humility. Ultimately, when we create these entanglements and we have these things we're holding on to, we were trying to do the best we could at the time. But now that we're a little further along and we have new perspective, it's our chance to take this heavy baggage that we're holding in our minds and our hearts and to set it down, to enlighten ourselves by putting that stuff behind, by healing it, by loving it. All these experiences that we have, they're beautiful, right? They teach us. And if we can view them in that light, anything you might be holding on to as a teacher, we can add more love and awareness to this and we can move forward with a lighter heart. And when you have a lighter heart, you have a heart that's going to live a lot longer for you and keep you around. And then you ultimately attract people who are happier people in your life, which helps to support you with more positive environmental momentum. I just wanted to bring this up because I don't think someone can truly be healthy if they're just focusing on the physical. It's also important to focus on the mental and emotional. And one of the key things I think that you can do to improve your mental emotional health is to forgive. So my challenge for you is this: what in your life needs to be forgiven right now? What are you still holding on to? Just sit with that question for a little bit. Maybe even I recommend you close your eyes, sit with a straight spine, breathe through your nose, and ask yourself, what am I still holding on to that I want to forgive? It may be with yourself, and maybe with a situation with someone else. And what would it look like if you could forgive that? If you could drop the load for a little bit, if you could set that down, if you could look at that lovingly and say, this was an experience, I created this, and now I can leave it and set it down and move on with my life. What I can tell you will happen is if you are able to do this year, you're going to be proceeding through 2022 with a lighter heart, with smile on your face, feeling lighter and more energetic. And you're not going to be operating your life from this background of negative emotion and noise. You're going to be able to positively create from a place of lightness and clarity. So that's my gift. And that's really what I want you to experience this year. So reflect today. What can you forgive in your life? It's going to improve your heart health. Johns Hopkins says that. It's going to improve your overall blood pressure parameters. That's certainly going to be a factor, but it also just improve your overall experience of your life, which is just as important. So I hope you found this little message powerful today. What can you forgive? Reflect on that. And I'd love for you to get in contact with me and my team. If you have something you would love to talk about, you know where to find us: Facebook, YouTube, inside our programs. We'd love to talk to you about this. And I want to help you get healthy on all domains of your being, the physical, but also the mental, emotional, and spiritual. So thank you, my friend. Go forth, have an amazing day. Reflect on forgiveness, and I'll see you around future episodes. I'll talk to you very soon.